today I'm going to show you how to make my chocolate covered cherry bark. You are not going to believe how easy and simple this recipe truly is. What you need is some chocolate candy coating and some vanilla candy coating, and then you're going to have some cherry candies. I am using some candy canes left over from Christmas, and then you're going to have some cherry extract and a pan with aluminum foil. So the candy, you're going to be able to pop this candy just right out. So you do want to crush your candy canes. You can do that. You can put it in a baggie and roll it with a rolling pin. You can put it in a mixer. I'm going to use my Ninja to do it because it does it like in about 5-10 seconds. So let me show you the first thing you're going to do. Now I like Kroger's brand of chocolate candy coating. It just has a really nice flavor. It melts real smooth. And this is just, I've made it with other ones and I always come back to this brand. So I'm going to take it out of the package and I'm going to show you they come in these microwavable little safe trays, but I like to do it in the oven. So hang on a second and I'll show you what that looks like. Here are the chocolates in their trays, and you're going to want to preheat your oven to 250, and once it's preheated you want to turn the oven off and slide in your candy. Now the first one you're going to do, you're not doing these both at the same time. I'm actually going to go take this out of the tray and I'm going to put it in the foil pan, and I'm going to stick it in my oven for about 10 to 12 minutes. And I'm going to pull it out and I'm going to kind of spread it around. It'll be good and melted. If it still seems like there's some chunks in there, I might stick it in there for another minute or two, but be very careful because you don't want to burn the chocolate. So when I'm done spreading it across the bottom of the pan, I'm going to stick it in my freezer, and while it's in my freezer, I am going to take this and I'm going to stick it in the oven. I'm going to make sure my oven's preheated at 250 again. I'm going to turn the oven off and I'm going to stick that in there for 10-12 minutes. Now when I pull this one out, I'm going to add some of my flavoring. Now you can add as much as you want to. I usually do just a little bit over a teaspoon. And you can add any flavoring you want to. If you want to do this with peppermint, you can do a peppermint, imitation peppermint. I mean, you can, anything you can imagine, you can put this in your chocolate. You can put orange extract in the dark chocolate if you want to. But we're doing this so they taste like the chocolate covered cherries. And now you make sure you add the extract after it comes out, and you mix it in there when it's melted. Now you may need to re-put it in the oven for another minute or so because the extract might kind of start to harden it a little bit. So you want to make sure that's nice and smooth. And I'm going to pull my pan back out of the freezer, and then I'm going to put this on top of it and spread it across. Now the reason why I put mine in the freezer is because it freezes it just enough while this is in the oven, and then my chocolates don't mix. I don't want them to mix. I want to have those layers. And then these are all going to be crushed, and while this is still warm in my pan, I'm going to spread that across and I'm going to just lightly pat it down, as you'll see. So here's my chocolate after it's been out of the oven. As you can see, it looks like it's held its shape, but the moment you press, it just... So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure this is all melted nice and smooth, and I'm going to spread it around. So here's a shot of it with the chocolate all spread across. And I also kind of wanted to say, if you wanted some of your smaller children to help you with this, this is easy. As you can see, I can touch the pan, and I pretty much could do that as soon as I took it out of the oven. The chocolate's not really even that hot. It's just enough to kind of make, it's like it's melted in your hand. So anyway, this is going in the freezer. I turned my oven back on to 250 and waiting for it to jump back up there. And I'll slide in my vanilla white chocolate. So here's the white chocolate, and you can see I can mix it. So I'm going to go ahead and add my flavoring, and then I'm going to pull the pan out and put this on top of it. And here's my candy already crushed. And there's a shot of that mixed up. And here we go, it's in here. And I'm gonna go ahead and spread that around. And here we go. I have it all spread out as evenly as I possibly can. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and sprinkle my candy. So here's my candy mixture on here, and you kind of want to spread it around a little bit. And just to show you that this is not hot, you can also just use your hands and you want to just pat it. And pat that down. Now you're still going to have some excess, and that'll just kind of roll off. You just want to take your hand or spatula, wooden spoon, or your kid's hands, and just kind of mash that down. And then you're going to put it in the refrigerator for approximately 30 minutes. I found that that's a pretty good time for it to harden up. And then I take it out, and I let it sit for room temperature because I find that it's much easier at room temperature, because it has to be in the refrigerator for it to harden and kind of bond together. But then take it out, let it get to about room temperature, and then you can break it up into small pieces. And so I will show you that process. And I'll show you how this will just pop right up out of the pan and away from the aluminum foil. And here is the candy all finished, and I've been letting it sit at room temperature. And I'm going to show you how, if I can do it with one hand, see how that candy just pops right up out of that foil. You're so cute. So here's the candy. I took it out of the pan. I wanted to show you how easy it was to pull out of the pan, and then you just lift it up out of this foil. Isn't that easy? Now in the pan, you're going to run the risk of it sticking, and that's why I put the foil underneath it. And as you can see, that just whoop. So now what you can do is you can take a knife and try to section it off with that, or even use a pizza cutter. But I kind of keep it real simple. What I'm going to do for that first section is I'm going to roll that over, and then with both hands I'm just going to pop it, and they're going to make little sections. And they're not going to be neat, but that's just the way I do it. So here, let me do that, and then I'll show you what that looks like. So here is my finished product, and for the most part you can make them even. Every now and again you're gonna get them. If I can find one. I make some small ones and big ones for different people. Every now and again you're gonna get one like this. But I also wanted to show you the thickness of these. You can see they're not very thick. They're pretty easy to bite down on. If you put them in the refrigerator, they're going to be a little bit harder to bite on. I usually just put a lid on mine and store them out here on the counter. So I want to say thank you for watching, and please leave any comments or questions you have below, and I will get to you as soon as I can. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.